Current world #1 golfer Scottie Scheffler recently made a pretty audacious statement that's got everyone talking. That singular statement might even change the game as we know it. Get ready for this one as we unveil the bold statement made by Scottie Scheffler that is changing the PGA Tour forever. Athletes talk, golfers talk, and sometimes they even say more than anyone is interested in hearing about. But what can a player possibly say that'll have a whole organization that has been the paramount golf governing body for over a century reconsidering their future? Before the what, you should know that not every player has the status to say something so weighty. So the first question should be, who? Scottie Scheffler is considered to be one of the best golfers in the world, and having been born on June 21st, 1996, it's only fair to say that Scheffler is one of the most promising young golfers in the world of golf. Scheffler's love for golf started at a tender age when he was introduced to the sport by his father. He began playing junior golf when he was only 5 years old, and by the time he was in high school, he had begun putting his name on the map as one for the future. Scheffler then went on to have a successful college golf career, attending the University of Texas at Austin, where he played collegiate golf for the Texas Longhorns from 2015 to 2019. During his time at Texas, he won several accolades, including Big 12 Player of the Year, Ben Hogan Award, and Fred Haskins Award. He helped lead the Longhorns to win the 2017 National Championship and was named the most outstanding player of the tournament. These are no easy feats. So, with college and amateur golf mastered, Scheffler turned professional in 2019 after graduating from college. The dude hit the ground and started running, recording a successful Korn Ferry Tour in his first year. He was named the Korn Ferry Tour Player of the Year and crowned the Tour Championship winner. In his rookie year on the PGA Tour, Scheffler recorded 4 top 10 finishes, including a third-place finish at the PGA Championship. He earned his PGA Tour card for the 2019-2020 season and has since recorded several impressive performances. This star golfer has had the #1 ranking on the official World Golf Rankings for a total of 34 weeks, first getting to #1 in March of 2022. His longest streak as the top-ranked player was 29 consecutive weeks between March 2022 and October 2022. Top stuff from a player so young, we must say. Scheffler's game is built on his excellent iron play and reliable short game. He's an excellent putter and a consistent ball striker. His wonderful demeanor on the course explains why he does so well, even under pressure. As successful as he is, Scheffler is nothing like the likes of Phil Mickelson or Patrick Reed, who are fond of getting into off-the-course drama. Maybe because he's in the early years of his pro career, but Scottie just doesn't seem like that kind of guy. His speaking up this time has much to do with the topic he's addressed more than anything else. And the topic? Live Golf, or at least something around that. It's no longer news that the LIV has become a serious threat to the PGA Tour, and it's pretty easy to see why. To start with, the LIV Golf Series provides a 54-hole tournament featuring just 48 players, which is different from the 72 holes the PGA provides. Aside from that, golfers make a significantly higher amount of money playing for the LIV than they do for the PGA. So despite all the controversy surrounding the LIV, the loads of money pumped into the tournament makes it just too hard to resist. One cause of drama on the Breakaway Tour is the means of funding the franchises run on. The LIV's primary source of funding is Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, which has been on an acquisition spree in the sporting industry. Many people believe they dabble into golf to cover up for the shadier parts of their business, but quite a number of golfers in the PGA have still defected to the Saudi-backed league. We're talking about the likes of Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, Bubba Watson, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Sergio Garcia, Henrik Stenson, Patrick Reed, and even Louis Oosthuizen. That's a very impressive group of golfers to have on your roster. Sensing the extent of the threat on its doorstep, the PGA Tour has been frantically seeking to secure its players' loyalty, by extension, the Tour's future. So what exactly did the PGA Tour do? Well, first, they've dished out bans to every player who takes the gamble of participating in the LIV Golf Series, even if it's just once. These bans prohibit these players players from not only PGA Tour events, but also affiliated events like the Ryder Cup. We have to say that's a bit harsh, but that's not all. One of the better changes is boosting the tour's purses to rival the record $25 million on offer at LIV Golf events, which is a pretty sweet deal. Several purses have been boosted to $20 million, while the Players' Championship has been up to $25 million. The PGA Tour has also created an earnings assurance program, which will guarantee all PGA Tour players who play a minimum of 15 events will be paid a minimum of $500,000. And to make it better, they'll be paid for the season regardless of whether they earn that much in tournament prize money. However, in order to match the increased purses, the PGA has introduced designated events. Basically, the designated events are 17 tournaments throughout the year that'll have all the best players competing. The fun part about this is that golf fans will be able to keep track of everyone on the PGA Tour, most especially the top players. The designated events will also help big events and small events to coexist. One problem is that the PGA had too many important events. With this new development, top players will have new events on their schedules in between the much more important golf tournaments they already have to participate in. Now, most of the changes made by the PGA seem pretty similar to the LIV model, but it works. Some of the golfers are quite happy with the changes. Spanish golfer Jon Rahm, who won the 2023 Masters for example, said this: "Without LIV Golf, this wouldn't have happened. To an extent, we should be thankful this threat has made the PGA Tour want to change things." He went on to add that he wished the PGA Tour didn't let it come to this before making changes to make the game better for its players. And that's a good point. Maybe if the PGA Tour had these changes in place before the LIV Golf Series got on the road, they'd not have seen so many players defect to the breakaway tour. But here's the thing, while most of the new policies have been well received, the PGA cuts elimination doesn't look like a good idea. The elimination of the cuts has the biggest objection, especially from Scottie Scheffler, and we get why. The cuts are a part of professional golf's identity. The PGA Tour announced a schedule change that will see 8 designated events from 2024 onwards, with limited fields, bumper prize pots, limited 70 to 80 player fields, and without the traditional 36-hole cut. This change is one of the most controversial because it's eerily similar to the Saudi-backed LIV Golf League mode. The likes of Rory McIlroy and Max Homa have supported the new schedule, but the reigning Masters champion isn't so sure. While Scheffler has been supportive of most of the PGA's changes, the no-cut element of those competitions has definitely ruffled Scheffler's feathers. "The cuts are hard because I don't have a strong opinion either way," said Scheffler. "I'm 50-50 on that because, as a player, I think a cut is good. But from a sponsor and fan point of view, it's arguably not very good. So for me, I don't stand too hard on one side of the fence." Now, this doesn't sound so bad, but his next statement basically meant, kick me out of the tournament. If we're going to have an elevated event the week before a major with no cut and I show up and play 2 terrible rounds, sometimes you'd rather say, okay, just take me out of the tournament, let me reset, and get ready for next week. When a world number 1 says something like this, it will stir up some trouble. But maybe it's not just him being sentimental, because he's not the only golfer who has this school of thought. Veteran golfer Ryan Armour, for example, believes that the new no-cut will push players toward LIV Golf, creating ill feeling amongst those stars further down the rankings. That seems ironic considering the fact that that's what they wanted to avoid. But here's what Armour explained. Say you finish 75th on the points list, just using that as an example. Yes, you had a really good year, but you don't get in any of the designated events. Why wouldn't you take a LIV contract? You've just been told by the tour that you fought for and were loyal to, that we don't want you. Even Rory McIlroy admitted that these changes after the emergence of the LIV Tour have exposed the PGA's weaknesses. As the #1 golfer in the PGA, Scheffler is definitely a player the PGA won't want to lose. They should rethink if he's willing to be kicked out of the PGA due to their new cuts. They're probably already having to rethink, to be frank, and if they do make changes, then it means that Scottie Scheffler's opinion was strong enough to reshape what could have become a new identity for the PGA Tour for decades to come. But what do you think? Are you in support of Scheffler's opinion, or do you think he's just overreacting? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like our videos and subscribe to our channel.